Hello, it's Christy with Punk Rock Sherlock, and we are going to talk about a new Netflix special that is about Steve Air McNair. Stay tuned.
He was still married to his wife. They'd been married for 12 years.
Well, if you haven't done it already, please click on the subscribe button. Click the little bell to get notified. Give it a thumbs up. Stay away from thumbs down if you don't like it. We don't need that kind of negativity. But we're going to talk about Steve McNair. And if you don't know who that is, he was the greatest quarterback that the Nashville Titans has ever had, in my opinion. Fantastic. He died July 4th, 2009, here in Nashville. And I'd always thought it was a pretty clear-cut case, but this new documentary is bringing up questions that I didn't. If you don't know much about the Tennessee Titans, they made it to the Super Bowl one year in 2000. They got to the playoffs. In the 99-2000 playoffs, they were a wild card team. They're playing the Buffalo Bills, and they had this incredible play. Last play of the game, I think it's like 16 seconds remaining on the clock. They get the kickoff return. The tight end, Frank Wycheck, check him out, threw a lateral pass across the field to Kevin Dyson, who then ran for 75 yards, yay! And touchdown, which had them win that game, and by the skin of their teeth, 22-16, which then led us to go on to the Super Bowl. Did we win? No. But we don't think about, oh my God, we lost the Super Bowl. We look at it as like, oh my God, we almost won the Super Bowl. Very close. Very awesome. Anyway, there's still more history to be made with the team. But let's go back. So it's July 4th, 2009. And I'm going downtown to see the fireworks, which a lot of people say they've got good fireworks. Nobody has as good a fireworks as Nashville does. Always has. And every year it's bigger and bigger. I would have to say ours is the best in the country. Sometimes we come up, I hear that we're like number 2 in the country or number 3. I don't know about these others, but ours are amazing. We have concerts that start in the afternoon, go well on into the night. Our fireworks are synchronized with our Nashville Symphony. They're just amazing. The fireworks display themselves are about over 20 minutes long. I think sometimes even they creep up to 30 minutes long. They're fantastic. You can see them. Like last time I watched them 2 miles away, and they still looked fantastic. Anyway, so me and my daughter were walking down to go do the 4th of July festivities. We notice up on the hill that there seems to be like a lot of cops. We're thinking, oh, not a big deal. It's 4th of July. They're probably just blocking off the streets for traffic. Not going to worry about it. We go into a bar to get a little food before we head on, and it's all over the screens. Breaking news. Steve McNair murdered. And we're like, what? We could barely even get up and leave. We were so like, oh my God, this is like, we can see it from our window. We could see it. We could walk to it if we wanted to. It was that close to downtown on Leah Avenue. So in this, you're going to see there are 4 persons of interest, which when I heard about it, it seemed pretty cut and dry. He had an extramarital affair. He was married at the time, had 3 kids. Ends up, I always said, never cheat on the woman you're cheating on your wife with. It never works out. Sorry if that is cruel. Anyway. So the first person of interest is Wayne Neely. So supposedly he sees Steve's vehicle at these condos, and has a key, helps himself on in because he's wanting to talk to Steve. I don't know if he was like a landlord or what the deal was, or just a groundskeeper, but this is a condo that Steve had. I don't know if his wife knew about it or not. They're making it sound like she did. Just, I guess, so he's close to the stadium after games. I mean, it was very close. Maybe. I don't know. Find the body. Yeah, of course. He's freaking out. He calls Robert Gaddy, who is person of interest number 2. Now, they had a history. They went to college together, played football there together. Some would consider him Steve McNair's bodyguard. They were business partners. They had like a little restaurant together. And I'd never heard about this, and I don't think it was a big deal. I don't think it lent to anything except for drama in the documentary. But they talk about how there was this $13,000 check that he and Steve McNair fought over, like making it sound like this dude tried to cheat Steve McNair out of $13,000, which I can't imagine that $13,000 is anything to Steve McNair, but whatever. Again, they gotta beef it up to make it sound like what have you. Now, as I said, Steve McNair was having an affair. The Steve McNair affair. This girl, a little bird told me, Dave and Buster's over by Opryland. He was in there one evening with his family, where he meets this server, chick that was his server. Her name ends up being Jenny Kazemi. I just realized that rhymed. Jimmy Kazemi. Sorry if I'm butchering it, but Kazemi sounds right. Anyway, so I guess he slips her the phone number. They start texting one another back and forth, and then voila, they're in a relationship. Evidently, Steve, they were married for longer than 7 years, but he had his 7-year itch going on, if you know what I mean. He was seeking, putting feelers out, if you will. All right. Well, at the time, Chicky had a boyfriend, and they the way it makes it sound in there that they were broken up, but they were still living together because they both had their names on the lease. The dude seemed to kind of maybe want to get back together. His name's Keith Norfleet. So Jenny, born overseas, I think Iran. Family moves to Florida when she's young. She meets this Keith guy. They get a relationship going. The two of them move here to Nashville together. So he is brought in as a person of interest because he was the ex-boyfriend. Could it be an ex-boyfriend jealous? And I mean, he went on to talk about how Steve McNair was his favorite player, and she had told him that she'd met him at the restaurant, and he asked, did you get an autograph? Oh my God, he's my favorite. Long story short, ow, when you find out your favorite player is schlepping your ex-girlfriend. That's kind of painful. Very painful. 20 years old. She's only 20. 19 or 20. 20 years old. Not even old enough to drink. And she's got this relationship. He buys her a Escalade. Both names are on it, which I don't understand. When they had everything roped off, that was one of the vehicles that they towed away because both their names were on it. I don't know. Why would you keep your name on a vehicle that is, your girlfriend's? Why would you want to even have something that could track back to your wife that you're still married to, that you're not divorced from? I don't know. Now, okay, how it goes is you walked in and Steve is sitting on the couch, slumped over, appears almost like he's sleeping if you didn't notice the bullet holes. I think that 2 in the chest, one or two in the head, slumped over, and then there is a woman laying on the ground kind of at his feet. And cops at the time, I remember them saying that they didn't even see the gun at first, so they thought somebody came in and executed both of them. It wasn't until they got a closer look and realized that when she shot him, then she turned the gun on herself. And I guess when she died, she fell almost on top of the gun. So they didn't see it at first. That's why they thought it was a murder instead of murder-suicide. But what would drive a woman to kill this guy that's, I mean, he's paying for everything, got her set up. I mean, she didn't even have to work. He's taking care of her. Things seemed to be going great until they weren't. Like I said, he had an itch to scratch. And evidently, she wasn't the only one he was talking to. As far as we know, only one that he was paying for cars, maybe? Well, investigators found these girls' numbers, called them up, and they're like, how do you know about me? We were being super secretive. Evidently not secretive enough. So, that's enough to piss you off. Because she would come home to this apartment. She found, like, used condoms in the trash. Like, it looked like there'd been a party. A lot of empty bottles and things like that. So he had a life beside the life he was keeping from his wife. Now he's keeping a life from his girlfriend. Dude had a lot on his plate. Just saying. Now, July 2nd, 2 days before he ends up murdered. Over at somewhere downtown, it looks like it's downtown Nashville, early in the morning, so it was like 1:30, something like that, she gets pulled over for a DUI. He's in the car with her. So in some of the film, you can see the car dash cams. It looks like he gets out, he's on the phone, he's calling somebody to come get him, because he's like, you know, I mean, he's not getting arrested because he wasn't the one driving. He gets a ride, leaves her. Ooh, so she's in the police car, it looks like. And she's calling him, like, on speakerphone. And is like, you know, where you at? You know, can you help me out? You know, where you at? Well, they're taking me to jail. And he's kind of like, no, just don't say anything, don't say anything. She's like, all right. And the cop is even like, so, wow, he's not even gonna help you, you know? Yikes. So, I guess, and this is what I don't understand, if she was arrested for DUI, supposedly, that same day, July 2nd, she calls this guy, which is person of interest number 4, Adrian Gilliam, looking to get a gun. Because I'm thinking, if you're arrested for a DUI, I mean, aren't you in there for a while? I mean, maybe they'll let you out the next day. I don't know how long you stay. I don't know what's happening there. But at some point later in the day, she, according to him, like, they traced the gun to this guy, Adrian Gilliam. Well, they trace it to a pawn shop, and the pawn shop reveals that it's this Adrian Gilliam that has bought the gun. So cops drive down to, like, I think it's Laverne or Smyrna, and they're there like 2 minutes, you know, just asking, oh, do you have this gun? No, I sold it to a lady. Oh, was it her? Yep, sure was. Oh, okay, thanks, bye. They didn't even take him in to interview him. His girlfriend is sitting on the couch right next to him as the cop is interviewing him. I'm like, I'm not a cop. But that doesn't sound right to me at all. But again, what do I know? So, once they get back and they're like, hey, oh, that sounds crazy. She just bought this gun from this guy. He's like, oh, I've got an alibi for the death. I've never even been to that house. According to him, I've got this alibi. I was over at my friend's house. So the cops, I mean, do you not think that they're going to ask your dude? Dude's like, oh, no, that chick that he bought the gun from, that's his girlfriend. And the other chick does not know about it. And nope, he wasn't over at my place. Ooh, you know, so your alibi is shot. Again, you're cheating with this chick. I mean, and supposedly he's like this big rapper, producer guy or whatever. I'm like, first, let's go back to Jenny. You got Steve McNair and you're fooling around with this loser dude who had been in jail for murder, I think, at some point. So I don't know how he's out having committed murder, but what have you. So that's the only thing, like, I never heard that story. I had never heard, again, Wayne Neely, I know he didn't kill him. Robert Gaddy, he's not going to kill him. Keith Norfleet, I think he was too enamored to kill him. I can't imagine. But, you know, again, that would be the only possibility. But, because everyone, there's this investigator, this Vince Hill, who started writing books. And evidently he wasn't even an investigator. He's in this documentary. But, I'm telling you, he's kind of convincing. So I see why, like, her family and friends don't think she killed herself. But she did. I'm pretty sure she did. But still, that Adrian Gilliam does add a new layer, does it not? I mean, it was his gun. He's lying out his teeth. I mean, I think lying makes him look worse than if he said, because they called him back. You're like, hey, dude, everything you told us was bullshit. He's like, yeah, but my woman was on the couch. I couldn't tell her. Okay. But yeah, so I mean, I guess I could see where he was kind of like, he had to bullshit. But at the same time, they're going to come back, they're going to figure out you're lying, which is only going to make you look worse. So, again, not sure what's going on there. But that's very interesting. I thought it was cut and dry. I'm like, what are you going to have a documentary about this for? I mean, like, she was pissed that he cheated on her. He killed her. She's so upset she kills herself. Done. There, I've finished your documentary in 20 seconds. But this was definitely a new thing I hadn't thought about. I never heard about the Adrian Gilliam. Never heard about that. Never heard about where he got the gun from, or that they were in a relationship with each other. So, quite interesting. It's still a good watch. It's on Netflix right now. It's a great watch. If you like murder, like I do, I love murder. I mean, as long as it's not me or anyone I know getting murdered. But it's definitely a layer that I had not been privy to prior. I guess take anything the Vincent Hill says with a grain of salt. He was a cop, but allegedly never worked on any murders while he was. So there should be like a documentary about him coming out, because I'm curious about this guy now. So we should look into him. If you like this little video, I hope you found it interesting. If you did, like I said, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, keep your mouth shut. Thank you, and come back and see me again.